Hi everyone, hi again, and I'm now interested to show you something different. So in this case, I decided to invite for the over nature argument topic a non-visual artist. In my opinion, it's important to give you an idea of what it means over nature. It's not only an exhibition, it's something that wants to involve, activate people and explore this area through this non-visual artist. And in this way, you can have another point of view, another point of this important, in my opinion, argument. And so I would like just now to introduce a writer. I decided to go for a writer firstly. He can be here because he now is in Galway for the festival, and he sent me, he was so nice and kind to send me this video. It is a pre-recorded video that and he is trying to explore this over nature topic through his medium, in this case the words, the poem. So I want just to introduce shortly the artist, the poet, and then I can show you something that he prepared especially for this event. So I'm glad that Patrick Deeley, he accepted to participate virtually in this case to this program, and again thanks to the Luan Gallery that they gave me the freedom to explore and experiment today with this program that how I mentioned in my story, it will be like a marathon, because after Patrick Deeley I want just to introduce another artist, another guest artist. She is Bernadette Hopkins. But for now, I start to read something about Patrick Deeley, and then I will show you the video. Patrick Deeley is a poet, memoirist, and a children writer from Mullagh, Loughrea. Sorry if I'm not pronouncing very well this place. County Galway. He is a full-time writer, having taken early retirement from his post as administrative principal of a primary school in Ballyfermont, Dublin in 2012. His seventh collection with Daedalus Press, The End of the World, 2019, was shortlisted for the 2020 National Poetry Award. His other collections are Groundswell, New and Selected, 2013, The Bones of Creation, 2008, Decoding Samara, 2000, Touraine, The Hidden Village, 1995, Names for Love, 1999, and Intimate Strangers, 1986. He won the American-based Lawrence O'Shaughnessy Award for 2019. He was awarded for the inaugural Dermot Haley International Poetry Prize in 2014. He has also received the Wow! 2 Award and a Merit Award in the Patrick Kavanagh Competition, 1981, and bursaries in literature in 1999 and 2017 for the Arts Council of Ireland. So this is something about him, and I don't want to waste your time just giving you a list of all his awards, because I think the video is explaining better what he is doing and his lovely and interesting poems. So let me start to show you the video.
Ecology and the way we engage with this planet is, or should be, the most pressing concern for all of us. And it is true that an increasing number of writers and artists find this as their most important theme. Therefore, I am delighted to contribute to this Culture Night exhibition, Over Nature. And I want to thank curator Valeria Cherigini and the Lewin Gallery for inviting me to read a few poems. I'm from a place called Mullagh, between Ballinasloe and Loughrea, County Galway, not a million miles from Athlone. And people in Athlone, of course, are very familiar with the Shannon Callows. In a sense, Athlone is the capital of the Shannon Callows. Well, I grew up on a much smaller Callows in East Galway, and it was the main influence in terms of myself in my person and in the poems that I write. So I'd like to start with a poem called Species, which was written about 20 years ago, which highlights the rich variety of flora and fauna to be found in a Callows. Species. I might find them subsisting still in soggy Callows, on the sides of ditches, in old graveyards. Those herbs, wildflowers, grasses that put the first spring in my step. I might pluck their names from an almanac. Vetch, bird's foot trefoil, orchid, summer snowflake. Then to inhale the smells, be dizzied again. Bear with grace what rash or hay fever was an offer. I might even bring myself to touch the last exquisitely dappled, boggle-eyed caterpillar. Set a ripple running through it. Shout my father back from the brink of ecological disaster. Lead him by his grainy fertilizer hand to stoop with me there over wonders of cuckoo spit, spider, and cowslip on a headland. A wall, even a plain wall, perhaps uninteresting in itself, can contain wonders. The more battered and run down the wall I find, the more likely it is to surprise us. This next poem is called Capstone. This garden wall is cherished by more than me alone. The roses and the apple branches rising out of its grimy foot stand sheltered, while the sun, taking all day to come round the houses, lingers in every crevice, every mossy spot. At evening, a game of bluff is played between two magpies and a feral cat. And when darkness falls, woodlice climb to graze damp pastures of peeling whitewash. The walls crumbling, pocked and blotched. Here my gritted elbows sit. Here a crown of ivy was blown off. And here dream garden possibilities present themselves, foliated, trained and trellised along fancy brickwork. Still I keep to a bargain struck with the rain and the powdering frosts. A wall stands. There is fervour even in a forgetful head, something held sacred under this slipping capstone. I live in Dublin now, and for many years I cycled out past Bluebell to Ballyfermot, where I was a teacher and later principal in a primary school. Bluebell is very much part of the urban landscape now, but once upon a time, of course, it was a village. And this poem, Bluebell, is an imagining of how that place might have got its name. Bluebell. The factories were here even then. The pylons fizzed above this same stretch of sad canal. Juggernauts creamed the asphalt hill. And sky might be raddled with sunshine or clouded grey, but was traversed either way with cables, which I'm still in the habit of counting 30 years later from the vantage of a push bike below the brow of Bluebell. Imagining blackberry rambles, a country village away on its own, with woods enough to coax shade-loving flowers. Bluebells so profusely pooled, a child might pick one for a place name, and everybody else agree to wear it afterwards. But all I can attest to are the pylons and factories, and this piebald horse, standing glum, his paddock a patch of cut-away ground. Once I dreamed him the original inhabitant, old man of the place, the king dispossessed. It was a myth to shorten my journey. But again today it comes around, as a startling sound assails me up by Bluebell Hill, the troubled boast of a rooster, flung from a hollow heaped full of tars and junk metal. There, with flames blazoned on his breast, he raises himself, rattles his wattles in defiance of our convoyed progress. And for a moment, I credit the earth is breaking at my heels afresh. As a horse, a rooster, a capercaillie, all fabulous, indefatigable creatures restored. And that the child has picked the Bluebell. Now, Holub, the great poet, said that there is great prospect in the fact that so many people have heads. Well, I think there is great prospect in dust and great hope for life, even in desert or barren rock or plain dust. Dust. Then the world placed in my path, common earthball fungus. The thing so much a semblance of our old football. Leathery skin flaked and tattered because left out in all weathers, that I simply had to kick it. The cloud of spores unleashed a desert about my eyes and ears and head. And I found myself, drought's demented preacher, prophesying to high heaven that dust would be continuing. Dust would never die. There was no cure but raise dust. Let dust inform, dust inspire us. Now, I am lucky in the covers of my book in that my wife, Judy Deeley, is an artist, and she does the covers for my books, and my publisher, Daedalus Press, are happy to let that happen. This book is called The End of the World. It sounds apocalyptic, but it's full of hope. I believe not in kind of manifestos as such, but in trying to show beauty through language, the beauty of nature. A kind of futile activity, but still something that maybe is persuasive more than polemic or manifesto. But Judy did the cover for this book, and I'm going to read 2 poems for it. I was very pleased that this book got shortlisted for Book of the Year and won other things. So I'm going to finish with 2 poems, going back to the Callows, My Mother's Getaway, which is on page 37, I hope. And my mother was a farmer, and the Callows was part of her farm. And when she got fed up with farming, she went for a walk and walked and walked all the way across the Callows. She went across. And just as it became a getaway for her in later times when I grew from boyhood, the Callows became an escape for me. My mother's getaway. Aren't we lucky to have them? She meant the walking places, her own wildering realm. No meals to cook, no groceries to fetch, no cows to milk, no cattle to herd or sheep to flock. Danger? There were only shallow drains and slack fences to step, with the hitch of her skirt. Across. Yes, across. Depend on her to say that word. She'd go across the Callows, face Auchty's distant blue hills, forecasting fine weather, or face near at hand Auchty's glum readiness to add to the splosh of rust-red ferric iron water in the field known as Old Tillage. No walls or trees for a quairhawk to hide behind. The land flat, her eyes able to see far. She'd go morning or evening to the nurture of not thinking, her feet swishing through coarse meadow. Go across, away from child and beast and man. Go beyond concern. And I will finish up with this poem called Starlings. It's a sonnet. It's set in northern Italy, a place I like very much. It also has bits of it which probably come from the West. Poetry is a funny business. Life can be bland, but a poem tries not to be bland, and so it packs and compacts different experiences and transposes them from one place to another. So long as the impulse is true, well, the poem has a chance, and hopefully the earth has a chance too. Starlings. Bell sound, but not a call to worship or celebration, and with no rattle of alarm running along it, only a low drone which draws me on against the breeze through the late evening streets of this sleepy, rust-tinted Tuscan hill town, until I reach a small standalone tower, centuries old and begun to crumble, the bell within seeming to mingle a murmur with the snore. Then starlings, a few flitting, the rest tucked up tight together, the base of the campanile smitten lime white with their waste. I want to linger, for in the deepening darkness I feel as if all the lives become one creature, and that the last bell to toll will be the bell of nature. Thank you.